What's up, Foundation? What's up, YouTube? It's me, your big partner, Cartoon, the Village Storyteller. And y'all know it's Village Storyteller time, right? As I always say, you know what I'm saying, I don't know if disclaimer or what, but now these are my Village Storyteller channel. My Village Storyteller channel stories. As you already know, in case you don't know, the stories over here are fiction. They are not true. The persons, place, and things that take place are not true. These are stories that's going to get you through your night, get you through your work day, get you through your break, get you through your way home from work or going to work, or just while you're at the house. Instead of picking up a book and having to read it, you can come check my story out. It's like in audio form, you know, but they come straight from here. Off the rip rap rim. I have not pre-thought of it. I have not pre-made it, anything. As of right now, the story that I'm telling you right now is formulating in my head already. You know what I'm saying? Just off the rip. Nothing wrote down, pre-scripted, none of that. It just comes to my head. Boom. It's a gift that God gave me. Y'all see my partner. Look at him. He don't want to be great. Stop it. Say hi. Say hi. Look at him.
You my baby. That's a baby. That's a baby.
It's my wife dog, y'all, but I done fell in love with him. Anyway, get off that couch. Because you pee on that couch, boy. No. Anyway, let's get right to it, man. Man, this story takes place in Louisiana. This during the time, man, people are doing real bad. Katrina had just wiped out a lot of stuff, man. People moving out, people leaving, people going a lot of different places, man, doing a lot of different things because the city of New Orleans was no longer a livable area to a lot of people. You know, some people stayed strong, some people stood strong with it and decided, no, they were going to fight for their community, they was going to fight for their city, they was going to fight for, you know, what they had built up and had in that area. They just did not want to leave it. Of course, some didn't feel that way, and they got ghosts. So, anyway, this story goes to a young man named Kevin. Kevin wasn't a part of a gang. He didn't have nothing to do with it. He didn't have nothing to do with anything. Kevin wanted to play basketball. Man, I'm talking about he was a youngster, but he was bad. He was a youngster, but he was bad. I'm talking about he could handle that ball. And he always figured, you know what I'm saying, that basketball was going to be his way out. You know what I'm saying? Basketball was going to be where he could help his mother and could move up out the projects. And, you know, they can have a better life and go someplace. And his mother was dependent on him, too. You know what I'm saying? She sacrificed a lot. She really did. You know, it was nice that she went without eating just so Kevin could eat, just so her son could eat. And he knew this. He knew this. And sometimes he would come home and lie to her and tell her, she would ask him, are you hungry? And he would say, no, mama. You know what I'm saying? I ate out in the streets, you know what I'm saying, with my friends. And she was like, okay. And he would tell her, look, you know, whatever you may, you go, you know, I'm full. I can't eat another bite. You go ahead and eat it. And she was like, you sure? You sure? You sure? Yeah, mama. And she would eat the little food that was there that she had been saving for him. She was going to sacrifice and do it out. But instead, he reversed it and made sure his mother could eat. You know what I'm saying? Made sure she had something to eat. He didn't want his mother to, you know, to worry about him. He didn't want her to go through none of the things that people was telling him could happen when you live in deep poverty. Anyway, he had three main friends. You know what I'm saying? You know, and they ran together. They was like four the hard way. You know what I'm saying? You had Kevin, you had Tim, you had Bobby, and you had Will. So anyway, they weren't bad kids. They didn't get into a lot of wrongdoing. But now, you know, hey, they did what, you know, what kids do. They were only 15 at the time. All of them. All of them birthdays was around the same time and the whole hookup. So anyway, man, it was a store on the corner that they used to always go to. It was a store on the corner they used to always go to. And across the street, it was like a billboard set up, but now wasn't no billboards placed on it, but it was always lately a old bum, old white dude, old bum, no, hungry, begging. You know what I'm saying? He was always there hungry and begging. And when they would see him, when they would go into the store, when they would come out to go back to the projects where they all lived, they would have to pass by the bum, and the bum would always beg and ask him for something. Please give me something to eat. Please give me something to eat. Now, they didn't want to give the bum nothing because, they didn't have a whole lot themselves, but now, they had more than what the bum had. But now Kevin had a soft heart, man. And, Kevin didn't have much. He really didn't. But now each and every time that they passed by, Kevin would give the old bum something to eat. You know what I'm saying? Or $1, $1.50, $2, $3, some change if he had it. And his partners would always tell him, man, stop giving that bum food, man. Stop giving that bum money, man. Forget him. He ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? They to the point to where they would come through sometimes and want to bush him with water balloons. The first time that happened, Kevin stopped him. Man, look, hey, don't do that. Don't do that. That's not cool. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that, man. You know what I'm saying? He down and out. They like, man, forget him, F him, this, that, and the other. And, the old man would be on the ground like, come on, kids, don't. But anyway, he stopped him, and he would still turn around and give the man some change, 75, 80 cents, $1 and some change. He didn't really keep much. He didn't really have much. But he always thought about helping the old dude on the corner. His heart was soft like that. Time goes on. Man, Kevin's mom got sick. She got sick, and she needed a surgery. She needed an operation. And the doctors had told Kevin that without this operation, that 9 times out of 10, she most likely wouldn't make it. Her life expectancy will be cut down to about 6 months. So he asked the doctor, because he was with his auntie at the time. And when they was talking to the doctor, that they asked the doctor, well, with the operation, what? They said, without the operation, it's an 80-20 chance that she'll be gone within 6 months. So they was like, well, with the operation, it's an 80-20 chance that she'll go on to live a much prolonged, longer life. So, they would, Kevin was distraught. His auntie was distraught. They were just, sad. You know what I'm saying? His mother was all he had. You know what I'm saying? It's all he ever knew. He never knew who his father was and never even really cared. So he was, feeling real bad. He was with his partners, and they were at the basketball course. They shooting ball, and they trying to, hype him up and pump him up and tell him, look, man, it's gonna be all right. One day you'll be in the NBA. But now in Kevin's mind, he didn't want to hear no NBA talk. He's only 15. He still had high school, college, and all that to go through. Never know from that point to that point what was going to happen. And he knew his mother didn't have that time left, but he didn't have the money. And, as the days went by, he would just sit in the room with his mother, and she was getting sicker and sicker by the day. And he would hold her hands and cry and just be like, Mama, man, I don't know what we going to do. And his mother would rub his head and tell him, son, don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. God got us. God know what's going on. And if God say it's my time, then baby, it's going to be my time. But I want you to always remember, Mama love you no matter what. Man, Kevin would sit there on the side of her bed with big tears in his eyes, man. All he knew in his heart and in his mind, man, he wanted his mother to be okay. During this time, one of the rare times, she talked him into going out and stretching his legs and being with his friends for a little while. And, he did. He went out there. He got with his other 3 partners, man. And, they knew he was down and out. They were sad, too. They didn't know what to do. So, anyway, they went to the store. And when they was coming back from the store, like, the old man was out there again. The old bum, he was out there again. And, he's begging for food and doing this and that. And one of Kevin's friends, who was real mad at this time because he was wearing Kevin's feelings on his shoulder. He wanted to attack the old man and tell the old man, get up out of here, man. He took a bottle and he threw it at the old man. It missed him, but it bust on the ground where the old man where the old man would sleep. And the glass got everywhere, and then he ran up, he wanted to punch and sock and kick and beat on the old man. But now, even though Kevin was feeling bad and doing bad, he was like, no. don't leave him alone, leave him alone, leave him alone, man. He ain't got nothing to do with what's going on. Let him live his life. It's not his fault. Man, I'm sick of this beggar, man. I'm sick of him. This was Kevin's partner. I'm sick of this beggar, man. He always out here, man. We ain't got nothing ourselves, and he want to be begging and this, that, and this, that, this, that. But so be it. Kevin wasn't like that. Kevin was not like that. So anyway, Kevin reached in his pocket. He had about 20 cents. He gave it to the man and told him, look, this is all I got, man. And the man grabbed his hand and told the man, God bless you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And he told me, he said, man, I know you're going through something. He said, but it's going to be okay. I know you're going through something, but it's going to be okay. So Kevin just looked at him like, all right, he walked off. Time going on. About 4 months passed. Kevin's mom's condition had deteriorated real bad. And it's to the point to where she was in the hospital now. She couldn't even stay at home. And she was bedridden in the hospital. And the doctors had been telling Kevin and his auntie, you might as well go ahead and get your affairs in order and prepare because she's not going to be here much longer. Kevin couldn't understand it. About 3 days it went by. And Kevin was at the hospital and his mother had lapsed into a coma. Because her body was getting so weak. She couldn't stand up on her nut no more. And she had lapsed into a coma. And the doctor just, told her, look, hey, it's a slow progression. This is what she's going to be going through. We're going to do everything we can to ease her pain on into the next existence. But they didn't sugarcoat it. They let Kevin know, hey, man, it's pretty much on the downslope from here out. She's on her way out. They said they'd be shocked if she ever woke back up. Anyway, a little time went by. And, Kevin had been talking to him. And he had trying to been explained, we don't have any money, man. We can't do that. And the operation that his mother needed was upwards of like $80,000. $80,000, man. Come on, man. The man ain't got $100. In fact, he was already on the list to be evicted because his mom's had fell sick. She couldn't work no more. He wasn't bringing in no money. They had already posted an eviction notice on the door of where they stayed at. He was going through it. His auntie had already told him, well, we're gonna have to let this place go, and you have to move in with me. But she had 4 kids herself. She really didn't have room for Kevin. But it didn't know what else to do, where else to go. Kevin was sitting there with his head down on his mother's arm. His mother's hand was hanging out the bed, and Kevin was sitting there with his head on her hand, crying his heart out, man. He finna lose the last good thing he had going on in his life. He didn't care about basketball no more. He didn't care about nothing. He just wanted his mother back, y'all. That's all he did, man. He just wanted his mama back. Y'all got to understand this, man. Man, within about an hour of him sitting there, the door to the room that his mother was in opened up. And a young white guy walked in. And the young white guy asked him, he said, hey, are you Kevin? And Kevin looked at him and said, yeah, who are you? He said, listen, Kevin, you don't know me, but I know you. And so Kevin like, well, where you know me from? He thought in his mind, about all his teachers, the police that he would see, the firemen, ambulance, all that. He said, I don't know. He said, no, you don't know me. He said, but you've helped someone out that's close to me. And he like, what do you mean? He said, hold on, let me show you. And he leaned back and he leaned out in the door toward the hallway. He said, come on. And so the younger white guy stepped back. And an older, real distinguished, rich-looking white guy stepped into, hey, the baby, and my dog, y'all, stepped into the room. And the guy said, how you doing, son? And so Kevin looked at me like, all right, but who are you? Who are you? He said, you don't recognize me, do you? He said, no, I don't recognize you. Who are you? He said for months and months and months, you and your friends always went to the store down there on Daphne. He said, you remember an old guy that was always outside begging? And Kevin like, yeah, and he put his head, started thinking about it, and he looked at the guy. He said, oh, wait a minute. He said, that's you. He said, so the old white guy said, yeah, that's me. So the younger white guy stepped up and said, listen, you have always helped him from what we understand. And now it's time for us to help you. So Kevin was like, what do you mean? He said, my name is John Fence. He said, I'm the owner of an aerospace company. And this is my father. So Kevin looked at him. He said, your father? He said, yeah. He said, now my father is the real owner of the company, but my father, he goes off and he likes to do strange things. He likes to do what you call, I forget the word of it, but anyway, eccentric. He said his father was very eccentric and he would leave off and always do strange stuff. And he said, you know what I'm saying, we would have to find him and, you know, bring him back and blah, 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 blah. So anyway, he told him, he said, when I found my father this time, my father told us about you. And we have been looking for you. And from our endeavorments of looking for you, we found out about what you were going through. And Kevin was looking like, he's like, yeah, man, my mom's finna pass because we can't pay for her operation. And the younger guy, he said, your mom's operation is paid for now. So Kevin like, no, I don't have any money. What do you mean? He said, your mom's operation is paid for now. And she's going to be okay. She should be going into surgery within the next 3 days. So Kevin like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? He said, I paid for it. He said, for the kindness that you showed my father, it's coming back to you now. So Kevin like, what? He like, yeah. Your mother's operation is paid for. And we already talked to the doctor, and the doctor say once this operation is done, that she should make a full recovery and be back on her feet within a few months. But yeah, it's taken care of. Not only is the operation taken care of, when your mother comes out, we have a place for you and her to stay. So Kevin he couldn't believe it. He thought the dude was lying. You gotta be like, he said, man, don't play with me, man. He said, yeah, I'm for real. And he just started crying, man. He couldn't believe what had happened. You know what I'm saying? All the times that his friends have been telling him, man, don't get that old man nothing, man. Don't look out for him. Don't help him. Don't do none of that. And he would still do it. And he couldn't believe that this is how it came back to him. He had been praying for a miracle. He had been praying for some help to save his mother's life. And he's standing there right there. He's looking at God manifest his powers in his face. And like when he was a young kid, when he would go to church and he would always hear the saying, he might not show up when you want him, but he gonna show up before it's too late. And he just thought about that, man. His mother ended up having her operation. She stayed in the hospital for a couple more months till she gained her weight back. And when, you know, he had been telling her about what happened, he had been keeping in close contact with Mr. Fence. And when the day when she was released from the hospital, they picked her up in a car and they took her and Kevin to the new home that they had bought him. They had a 2-bedroom house that they had bought him. And they told her when she gets a little bit better, if she want a job, they had a job for her. They told Kevin, look, we heard you a heck of a basketball player. What we want you to do is start focusing on your craft, start focusing on your skill. So one day you can make it to the heights that you want to make it to. Kevin couldn't believe it, man. But the moral of the story is, man, you never know. You never know when you're entertaining an angel, man. You never know. So don't be cruel to people, man. Be nice to people. Cause you never know when you're entertaining an angel. Man, it's me, man, your big partner, man, the village storyteller. I'm out, man. Peace.